Here's a look at how to create a quiz in eConestoga. The first thing you want to do is head into the course where you plan on putting the quiz. So I'm going to choose the section 2 of my media freelancing and entrepreneurship course because we haven't had any quizzes here so you can see how you set it up right from the very beginning. Once you're here, head into course tools and go down to quizzes, and then you just click new quiz. This part's all very basic, but there's some important information coming up in just a moment about how to make sure these export directly to their final grade, which means you don't have to sit there and grade all of them. So I'll get to that in just a moment. So hit new quiz and name your quiz. I just go by quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3 throughout the year. If you are having a number of quizzes throughout the semester, and let's say the 5 quizzes are going to be worth 20% of the final grade, or 10 quizzes are going to be worth 60% of the final grade. If that is the case, you would add a category. If you just have a one-off quiz, you leave it as is and you do not put in a category. So I'm going to just leave it as is for this example. And then you start to add the questions, and it's quite simple. They've really simplified this over the last couple of years. They've made some changes. So you just click new and you decide what kind of question that you want. So here's true or false, here's multiple choice. These are the two I use the most. So if I use multiple choice, I just type my answer. What color are the walls in your class? And then we give our options, black. Oh, that tab doesn't work. Oh, and I don't spell black right. Okay, black, blue, pink, and white. Okay, so then you select the one that is correct. So you can see over here on the right how the question is going to look for the students. So you select the right one. So we're going to select blue. And I always like to randomize answers for each student just in case they are sitting next to each other and the monitors are so massive they can see what the other people are doing. So if it's not an open book quiz, I like to do this. Even if it is open book, it just makes them have to work a little more for themselves. So I always click this. Now here's an important note about this, and I learned this the hard way. I did this once with an all of the above. What happened was some students had the second option as all of the above. So they thought I meant just this first answer, when really I meant everything above the last answer. So if you have a question that is all of the above is an option, do not randomize the answers because the all of the above could be the first option for them. So learn from my mistake there. So then you just click save and new to add a new question. And you just keep going, and up here you can change it so that you have this written response or you have the true or false. So here's true or false and so on. So you just keep going as many questions as you want to put in your quiz. But here's the part that I want to tell you about. So when you're in the quiz, sorry, let me just go back to the actual quiz. I'm going to go into over here. So done editing questions. So once you have all of the questions that you want, you'll see them here. And you can go through and do a preview. So you do the quiz, you take the quiz, and you can see just to make sure that you did click everything correctly. Done editing questions. And then this is the really important information that makes life a lot easier for you. So I don't worry too much about this. This is where all your questions would be down here. I don't allow hints. I don't disable the right click. And then there's notes here that prompt you about all of this. What I want to show you though is the restrictions and assessment. So go into restrictions and you want to make it active and select availability. So if I have this quiz in class on Thursday, what I would actually do is leave this as inactive, and in the middle of the class, when everyone's all ready and their books are away and I know they're not cheating, I say, okay, now refresh your browser once you're in quizzes, and I make this active, and then I would save and close. But if this is a quiz they can do after class, then I keep it active and I give it a start date. So I would say tomorrow at 12:30, and then you have 2 days to get that done. So you can select a start and end date, and you can display it in the calendar so that they see in their eConestoga calendar that the quiz is only available for those days. So those are some options that you have that are pretty self-explanatory once you get in there. I am going to make this inactive right now just because it will confuse the students if I actually do it. The next category that's great is the assessment. So in here, you want to, or what I do anyway, is I allow the attempt to be set as graded immediately upon completion, so they see right away what they got on this quiz. They can't see what they did right or wrong. I disable that because if I have a student who's going to take it the next day or a couple days later for whatever reason, I don't want them to say which ones they got wrong. So allow this to be graded right away, and then right here you choose the grade item. So nothing is selected. You can see I have some of my assignments here, but my quiz is not there. So I'm going to add grade item, and I will call this quiz 1. And again, if you have a quiz category, which I do for this course, then I would put there, and all my quizzes will be 60% of the final grade. But for this example, let's just pretend it's a one-off, and then you save this. Oh, what's wrong here? Oh, the weight. Sorry. Where's the weight? Down here. So the weight. So how much of your final grade is this? So some of the questions have been, how do I know what each question is worth? I make my quizzes, if they're 10 questions, it's just evenly distributed throughout. So if I have 10 questions, the maximum points are 10, and the weight, let's say it's 10% of your final grade, and then you leave this at percentage default. Grade item is always visible. That means they can always see what they got on there, and then you hit save. And so now that quiz is in there. Just let me take a quick peek in here and see if there's anything I'm forgetting about this. I don't worry about that. Submissions. Show the questions. I leave that at no. And report setup, you don't really have to worry about. So the big thing here is the assessment, allowing it to go directly to their grades. Oh, look, it's not checked here. Auto export to grades. So this is the important one that will save you a ton of time. So they'll automatically be able to see what they got on this, but if you click this, it automatically goes to their final grades. So you don't have to do anything with it. It's graded right away and it's done. And then you save and close that. So then what will happen is in quizzes, so let me just go to grades. So up here under course tools, if I go to grades, this is where I see everything that they're going to be doing this year. So here's their networking assignment, here's their Fiverr assignment, here's their client video and invoice, and here's their quiz 1. So once this is done, once they've done the quiz, it's going to appear in this column right here. And so if you put into eConestoga all of the assignments right away at the start of the year, then it's done. And then as you're grading, it just automatically populates if it's a quiz, or as you grade something in class, it will automatically come through here as well. So I hope that helps, and please let me know if you have any other questions. It is a great way to ensure that the students show up to class and they're paying attention if they know there's a quiz. I find even if it's only worth 3 to 5%, it can keep them coming because they don't want to miss out on that grade. So I hope that is some good information for you. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye.